What if death isn't the end, but the beginning of a journey we can't yet comprehend? Let's uncover the ultimate mystery that unites us all. What happens when we die? For most of us, death is something that we avoid thinking about, even though it is inevitable. Death is the great equalizer. Regardless of who we are, all of us must succumb to that moment when life as we know it ends. But what comes next? No one can definitively say what happens after death, or even if there is an afterlife. Despite this, different religious beliefs about the afterlife surprisingly share common themes. In this video, we'll journey through the profound mysteries of death, exploring how ancient beliefs and cutting-edge theories about consciousness may intertwine. If you're passionate about unraveling life's deepest questions, join our growing community by hitting like and subscribing. Together, let's uncover the truths that connect us all. What happens to us when the biological processes of the body cease to function? What comes next? Is there a next? The physical body is amazingly complex with its various systems and biological processes. But is that who we are? Is that what makes you the person you are? Even in the plant and animal kingdom, there is an aspect of these living organisms that seems to transcend their biological structure. Consider a single-celled organism like an amoeba. It has no brain or nervous system, yet it carries out incredibly complex functions. Or think about animals. Each one, even within the same species, has a unique personality. What is it that gives them individuality? These questions have led many to believe that we are more than our biological bodies. What do you think is our true nature? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Most religions believe in an afterlife, though their interpretations differ. In Christianity and Catholicism, there is a belief that we go to heaven or hell. In Islam, there is a similar belief. A righteous life leads to Jannat, which is paradise, while those who sin go to Jahannam. Judaism places a focus on living a good life, with some Jews also believing in an afterlife. Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, and Sikhism share beliefs in reincarnation. They teach that after death, we return to Earth in a new form, shaped by our past karma. Each reincarnation offers an opportunity to free ourselves from suffering and ultimately reach nirvana. Buddhism believes in reincarnation, which means that after death, we return to Earth in a different form, shaped by our past karma. They believe that every time we are reincarnated, we are given an opportunity to free ourselves from the karma of our past and enter nirvana, which is the end of all suffering. Hinduism, Taoism, and Sikhism share beliefs similar to those of Buddhism. Some might dismiss these beliefs as mere stories, but could the skeptics be the ones who are mistaken? Those with a scientific mindset might argue that we are born, we die, and that's the end. But what evidence supports this view? Let's take a deeper look. The question is, what evidence exists to support that belief? Let's use the adage of the chicken and the egg. Which came first? If the egg came first, where did it come from? If the chicken came first, where did it come from? The same thing can be said of a plant and the seed. Which one came first? Where did it come from? Imagine you're holding a solid rock in your hand. It feels solid, right? But quantum physics tells us that if we zoom in close enough, that rock, and even your hand, is made of particles that are mostly empty space. At the smallest level, nothing is truly solid. Now here's where it gets even more fascinating. These tiny particles change their behavior depending on whether we observe them. When we look, light behaves like particles. When we look away, it acts like waves. It's as if the universe responds to our awareness. Think of the physical world as a video game. What looks like a solid, tangible character on the screen is actually invisible code running in the background. Quantum physics suggests our reality might work the same way. If the physical world is an illusion, in that nothing is solid, what is that remains of us when the body ceases to function? When you think of a loved one and how they make you feel to have them in your life, what is it about them that makes you feel that way? Isn't it something that is beyond their physical nature? This brings us to one of the most intriguing questions in science, the nature of consciousness. Perhaps the most intriguing question is the nature of consciousness. Scientists are still struggling with this, which is why they refer to it as the hard problem of consciousness. But you do not have to be a scientist to become fascinated with this question. All you have to do is think about your own life. Have you ever wondered how you can sense someone staring at you or why you dream vividly? Scientists are discovering that consciousness might not be limited to your brain. Researchers are increasingly considering a new model in their attempts to understand consciousness. In the past, researchers unquestionably held on to the theory that consciousness is found in the brain. Now, the idea that consciousness is non-local is becoming increasingly accepted. Perhaps the real you is non-physical. We can think about it using analogies. Consciousness is like the ocean, while we are like fish. The ocean permeates everything that exists within it. Perhaps consciousness is our ocean, and we are the temporary physical manifestations of that consciousness. This theory makes sense. If consciousness were located within the brain, how is it possible for you to be aware of your inner world and outer world at the same time? How could you be aware of your heartbeat and the sound of birds at the same time? What mechanisms could make this possible? Also, how can information be transmitted to another person through the spoken word? If consciousness is found in the brain, then how is this possible? You are aware of the world around you. You are aware of your thoughts and emotions. You are aware of your sense of self. You are aware that you exist. Finally, you are aware that you are aware. There can be no experience without the awareness of it. Whatever is experienced, there must be an awareness of it. Perhaps the real you is not what you take yourself to be, your mind and physical body. Perhaps the real you is the one who is aware of all these things. This theory of consciousness perfectly aligns with the religious beliefs regarding the afterlife. Endless births and deaths of living beings occur in our physical world when, in fact, these living beings and the physical world are made up of the same stuff, consciousness. The essence of everything remains the same. It is just their forms that change. You have probably heard of a person who is referred to as an old soul. Such individuals are young people who possess qualities that are usually associated with older people. Could they be the reincarnate of those who have passed? At the University of Virginia Medical School, researchers have studied over 2,500 cases of children who claim to remember past lives. They speak of memories of their past lives and exhibit preferences or phobias that do not fit the context of their families or current life experiences. These signs are often consistent with the life of the deceased person. Some even share the deceased's birthmarks. Do you believe in an afterlife? Share your thoughts and vote in the comments. We may never know the answer about what happens after death, but the more we contemplate it, the more we can expand our thinking. The mystery of death might be the key to understanding life itself. Are you ready to explore further? Subscribe now for more mind-bending explorations that will change how you see the world.